Hi, and welcome back to the HSP Connection with me, Robbie Lee.
And me, Philippa Robinson. This is where we share our stories, insights, and strategies to help fellow highly sensitive people navigate their own path to living a fulfilling and meaningful life. Robbie, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're talking about the concept of taking a break.
We are.
Yay. Yay. And, we thought about this because at the time of recording, it is July, summertime, and you are going on a nice holiday with your family. I have some time coming up that I'm taking off as well. And we were thinking about, what does it mean to take a break? What is the importance of that? Which had us thinking about, well, as HSPs, how do we think about taking a break? And, why might we want to do that? So that's what we're diving into today.
Yeah, great topic. You're right. And we came about it, didn't we? Because we were trying to decide whether to have a break from the podcast. So whether to have a 2 or 3 week break without releasing an episode. Right. Because I'm away for 3 weeks, I'm back, we're both back for a week, and then you're away for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And we toyed with that idea, and we were like, well, as HSPs, we should be taking a break. We need a break. Yeah. And we were really having to balance that against this being a new podcast. And, people are listening. Thank you out there. You know, the people who are listening. And we really wanted to carry on releasing episodes, to keep the momentum going, I guess. So we were having a real conversation around honoring our own needs and, the other side of like keeping the podcast going and keeping the episodes coming out. That's why we decided to record an episode about it. Yeah. Because originally we were going to record an episode about we are taking a break. Mm-hmm. And it's important to take a break, and we are all those things. And now this is about the importance of taking a break, but we're not actually taking a break from the podcast. So we've recorded quite a few episodes up front, and whilst we are away, the podcast will still be coming out every week. So just in complete transparency, we wanted to make that clear that whilst we are taking a break from recording so that we are having a break ourselves, the podcast is going to keep going. But really, because this is a new podcast and we really want to keep building, because we want the message that we're trying to get across to really hit as many people as possible. But I don't know, when we come to the next big holiday, when we come to the end of December, we probably will have a break completely. The podcast probably won't be out for 2 or 3 weeks. But so taking a break, and as HSPs, the importance of having a real break. Yeah. A digital detox, but ideally doing something meaningful, being out in nature, just doing whatever your soul needs.
Yes, that's exactly right. That always makes me just go, it makes my whole system happy. It's like, what does my soul need? Yeah. What I love about this, Philippa, is that I feel like we've been able to honor both things. We are giving ourselves a break. Like there will be periods of time where we're not recording a long period of time for us. Which allows us to go take a break. But at the same time, in anticipation of knowing we wanted the podcast to still be released, we've just done a little bit of extra work on the front end to allow that to happen. So we get to honor both things, which I really love.
We do. And, there is a real, it's been an effort, and we have been recording more, and we've got, a few great interviews coming up where we've got somebody else with us, or I'm talking to some people on my own. You're talking to some people on your own. There's joint episodes that we're recording to make sure they're all ready to go out. So it has taken some effort, and to be honest, that is I can really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I can really feel it's always a pleasure to spend time with you and record episodes with you. So that's not really what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the extra admin work that goes around it, the thinking about it, the setting it all up, the getting it all ready to go out. Yep. So much as we are having a break, and so I get my break first. So much as, as of, the middle of next week, I will be on my family break. It hasn't been without extra effort to get there. And I'm really feeling the need to have a break, not just because of the podcast work, because of everything else. And, I am going to get a really healthy dose of nature, of new things, of new places, of new experiences. So that, high sensation seeking side of me is like going to absolutely love it. Whether 3 weeks with my husband and 2 children 24/7 is going to nurture the rest of me remains to be seen. Luckily, they don't listen to the podcast, so that's okay. But it will. I mean, I can't wait to spend proper time with them.
Yeah.
And, enjoy things that we're doing. And, they're teenagers, and I don't know how many times more I've got for them to come away with us, that they're going to want to come away with us. So we're just going to go and enjoy it. And you've got your time after I come back. And what sort of things are you going to be fulfilling on your break?
For me, it's definitely the slowing down, feeling the time in nature. That's always there for me. Probably some new adventures. Mine won't be as far from my home as yours are from your home, but still new adventures.
Yeah, always.
And just it's time away like that for me is usually some kind of recalibration. Like I usually feel the need for it coming. It's like, oh, okay, I better put something on the calendar. And then it just kind of unfolds into what it's like. Do I need to go have an adventure? Am I just sitting and being? Am I writing? Am I creating? Like what wants to come forward? So I have some ideas, but I don't have it all locked in, and I like it like that because it's still percolating.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes of it. I bought myself a notebook today to take away. So I've got a brand new notebook to start and see what ideas come up. So who knows? It'd be really funny, won't it, if when we get back we've had very similar ideas about things, because that's what tends to happen.
It does. It really does.
We've both turned up today wearing, and if you're listening on the audio, this is going to mean nothing to you, but we've both turned up today wearing new tops that are very, very similar color. So we're like, we're matching. It's going to be interesting to see what we come up with. Ideas for the podcast, ideas for other things that we might do together, and ideas that, we might do separately. But it's going to be really interesting to see what we come up with, and to have that time to allow those ideas to just breathe.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Breathe is the exact right word for my experience of it. It's like it just needs the spaciousness that, removing some things from the calendar brings, removing. And it's not only like removing things off the calendar, but then it's also like with everything, then comes, like you were saying, comes preparation, comes thinking about it. Right. So having some spaciousness to be able to put energy toward this thing that wants to be born or created, or, that's what gets me really excited. And that's why I need kind of space and downtime, because it really helps those things find the air. Find air. And light. And
and you're so right about that. And it's I love the you mentioned earlier, the intentionality. So, you know, you didn't necessarily have a plan for a great trip. Like, you know, I've got this organized trip where we know what we're doing every day because we're going to pack it all in. But you knew you needed a break. You knew that was brewing. So you you've put the time in your calendar, and you know, you know that whatever you need to do in that time will show itself.
Yep.
But you've had to put the time in your calendar to do that. And I think that's really important. I mean, it's important for everybody. And, you know, I think we don't tend to take enough time.
Yes.
To do that. And, you know, I know there are costs, you know, there's money implications for people, and not everybody can just take time away. When you're self-employed, it's a double whammy, isn't it? So, you know, and I do appreciate all that. I really do. But for those of us who can take that time off, booking it in your calendar to make sure it happens and to stick to it.
Yep.
Because it's very easy to let it creep.
Yep.
Okay. You're listening.
Yes.
Yeah. And just, you know, gosh, I can't remember the last time I had some time off with no real plans and just allowed it to be what it's going to be. I mean, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. You said something so important there around like that intentionality of I'm taking the time. Because I remember, you know, back working my corporate jobs, we were allotted a certain amount of vacation a year. Not very much, but a little bit. It was available. But then also the culture was that you should be available while on vacation. So I'm just like, well, that's not an effing vacation, right? If I'm still having to think about work, if I'm still having to check and make sure there's like, that doesn't give me that space away. And then it was also a feeling of, oh God, like there was never a good time to do it because there was always the next this big thing that we had to be working on. And, you know, living that way was not healthy for me. I mean, I crashed. So that was not healthy for me. So then being self-employed and creating more spaciousness in my life, there was a part of me that's like, oh, well, this is going to be easy. But yeah, and you're laughing because, you know, because then what happens is like, oh, wait, if I take time off, I'm not getting any vacation pay. Right.
Yep.
So taking time off means I'm not sitting with clients. I'm not doing the things that currently make me money. So it's even in some ways more challenging to do it. And yet, because of what I've been through, and I know, like, I just know in my bones how important it is for me to create this spaciousness, then it's just like, well, I have to do it. I have to do it. And it's always really helpful for me. And for those people listening who are like, I can't take because 2 weeks off or whatever, 3 or whatever, I hear you. Like Philippa was talking about, like we all have different life circumstances and different things. And so I would encourage you though to look at where can you create a little bit more spaciousness? Can you take a long weekend, or can you offload some responsibilities to somebody else to just give your brain a break around that, right? What can you do to create more spaciousness, to take a break? Because it's just, every human needs that. That's why we sleep. Like we're designed to take breaks daily, right? We sleep every day. And if we don't, there are consequences. And I look out at nature and think about the seasons, the cycles, right? Like we're part of nature. Like there are cycles that we need. And so there's times of go, 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 and there's times of rest, and there's times of recharge. And so listening to what, like you talked about earlier, listening to what you need and then being able to give that to yourself is just vital.
Yeah, I've always fancied the idea of being a hibernating animal so that I could go to sleep for the winter.
Me too. Yes.
Get a really big rest in. I've always loved, you know,
yeah.
If I was an animal, I'd like to be a hedgehog or I don't
Oh,
know, something like that.
so
Although
cute.
hedgehogs are quite prickly, aren't they?
Do they hibernate? I didn't even realize.
Yeah, well, I think, oh, you see, now we're treading into more territory
Okay,
that
all
I
right.
think that I don't really know. I think I seem to remember in the back of my mind that hedgehogs always used to hibernate, but I think our winters are getting a bit warmer and they're not hibernating as like they
Interesting.
used to. Now, I could be talking utter rubbish, so actually, I'm not gonna. But that idea, an idea of an animal that goes to tell me an animal you
Bear.
know that a bear. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, see, something else. Grizzly bear.
sure.
I'd be a grizzly bear if I was a.
Or a brown bear or a black bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, bears.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I've always loved the idea of going to sleep for the winter.
Me too.
And it's funny, it's only lately that I've come across, in fact, since I've been in this online, working in the online space, that I've come across people who will really go slow in the winter and don't really, emerge back online until the spring. And I was like, what is this? Haven't you got to be on all the time? And the answer is no, you don't have to be on all the time. And I think this year, 2023, was the first year in a while that I didn't just hit January ready to go, because I've always liked that New Year energy. But this year, for some reason, it felt very different. Not that I didn't have any energy, but I felt very different about, right, let's go. It's January. Don't know what that was about, but I quite liked that. So, and that's a longer break maybe over the winter for people who feel they want to and can take that time to hibernate.
Absolutely.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's always been my inclination to slow down in the winter. And I've often thought, I wish I was a bear.
Yeah.
I could just sleep in the winter. So I really resonate with that.
Yeah.
My system very much wants to slow down.
Mm.
Very much in wintertime. And it seems very at odds with the celebrations that occur this time of year, which are very for us, like in my family culture, it was just so many get-togethers with family. And then once you layer work culture on that, so many get-togethers around the holidays for work. And then it's just like, oh my gosh, it's extra peopling. I'm an introvert and it's like requiring more of me. Right. And so I've always been out of sync with that, like my desires and my needs. And I started over the years just saying no to more things, which helped my own system, but had some consequences as far as relationships, because some people really got it and some people felt insulted, you know? So, but the truth of it is, like, I just have to take care of my system. I just have to.
December can get a bit much, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have Thanksgiving thrown in as well. So
Correct.
the roll from Thanksgiving up to, like, the holiday season generally is bigger than we have, and it's bad enough here, I assure you. So I really get that. Know that you need to say no, but also the person you're saying no to might be a bit offended, but you can't please everyone, and the most important thing is you should be doing what you need.
100%.
But if, like us, you grow up trying to please other people, then that's a hard lesson to learn, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but what I discovered is, like you said, like I've chosen now, for the most part, because I'm always a work in progress. It's like I have to give myself what I need, or else I won't be able to give to anybody else. Like, as my cup empties, it's a message we've said a lot here, but as my cup empties, my way is to still try to give from it and give and give and give. And that is not good for the person receiving. And it's really not good for me. And it's not sustainable. Like, I will crash. There will be a consequence. And I don't want to live like that anymore. And I'm not. And it's better. It's way better.
It is. And I think it's it's easier to understand that when you have had that crash and you have been in that place. But we keep talking about it because we hope to give this message out enough time so that maybe some of you might get to know what we're talking about and understand it and avoid the big crash that we've had. And so many people listening, I'm sure, have had that big crash as well. It doesn't have to be like that, I believe. I wouldn't know because I had to do the crash, I'm afraid. But it's not pretty and it's not to be recommended. And we're going to have a guest on soon, or well, we say soon now, but it will be out in a couple of months talking about burnout, which is obviously the ultimate crash, really. So and we started talking, you started talking a little bit, Robbie, about okay, if you can't have a break, big break like we're having, what else can our listeners do maybe? And I'm trying to remember now what you said, and if I'm really honest, I've forgotten. Because welcome to my
love
brain.
That so much.
Welcome
Well, I so relate to your brain. I was talking about maybe take a longer weekend, or if are there responsibilities that you can put onto somebody else just to give yourself that spaciousness, like where can you create space, time and space.
Thank you. I now you've said that is very familiar. I obviously was listening, it just wasn't going in. And because what I was thinking, I've already mentioned it once, a digital detox maybe. So can you at least have, and I know some people do this really intentionally, like maybe one day a week, and I keep meaning to do this, but I've obviously not got to the stage where I really mean it because I don't actually do it. But can you be off your computer and off your phone and even off a TV? Can you be off everything, maybe all screens for a day? I don't know. That feels like a good thing to do. It really does. I can't say I've tried it, but I am building up to having a weekend off my phone.
Nice.
We'll see how we get on our holiday, actually, because we won't be able to get service quite so easily. So we'll see. But I think that's a good idea. And sometimes just a change of scenery can help, can't it? So, can you just get out into your local area and maybe can you walk around if you would normally drive around? Can you explore a little bit of it, that but well on foot? And I don't know, maybe try a new cafe that you've not tried before for a coffee. But can you do something? Other beverages are available, obviously, you don't have to drink coffee, but are there little things that you could do that are a break from your routine, a break from the place you're usually in, maybe a break from the people you usually spend time with? That's never a bad thing. Maybe go somewhere on your own, or go, I don't know, join a new group, join a walking group or something, or a friend you haven't seen for a while. Maybe you can meet up with them. Just little things that you can do to just change things up a little bit. Do you have any other ideas?
I mean, I love that so much because it can be easy to just get stuck in the daily routine, and that alone, just I want to say the word monotony. I mean, but sometimes it can, monotony feels boring to me, and sometimes it's not boring. There's distress, but it's just like the everyday grind, and sometimes it is a monotony too.
Same thing, isn't it?
It's the same. It's the same. Oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
It's our brains can really appreciate something new being put in the mix there, right? It gives it something else to turn attention to, and to be, oh, that was new and fun. Oh, those people were nice. Oh, oh, I haven't seen this part of the town. How pretty. Like, it can just shift things, right?
Yeah, because when you do things over and over again, we get into autopilot, don't we? How many times have we driven somewhere and we don't remember we don't remember the drive because we've done it so often, we're not really paying attention. So it's like that, isn't it? Doing something different will make us go, oh, this is different. Where are we going? What are we doing? This could be exciting. Yeah. I love that.
I'm also thinking as we're talking about the episode we did on permission, because there's a part of this for me about giving myself permission to take a break.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Giving myself permission to say no to things so that I can create some spaciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. And there's also something for me about intention. So, you know, being intentional with the time. So maybe, okay, this coming weekend on Saturday afternoon, I'm going to do something different. Not necessarily planning what that is until maybe, you know, maybe not until it actually arrives, or certainly not until nearer the time. But on a Monday going, okay, this Saturday, I'm going to do something different this Saturday afternoon, and knowing that that's what you've done, you say you're going to do in that time, and make sure you do it, because that actually is doing so many things on different levels. It's novel, it's new, it's something interesting, it's a break from the routine. It's also you saying you're going to do something and sticking to it, which is really helping you with your self-trust and all of those things. So it's ticking quite a lot of boxes. So try not to say you're going to do something and then don't do it. If you're going to say you're going to do it, make the time and do it, and enjoy it. And let us know, you know, maybe, you know, if you're inspired to do something different as a result of this episode, please let us know. We'd love to know. I'd love to know. I bet you would, wouldn't you, Robbie?
Oh, look, I always love to hear from our listeners, and, you know, how things are resonating for them and what it's doing for them in their life. Yeah. Please share.
Yeah, please do. And I don't think I've got anything else to say for this episode. Have you?
No, I think our intention for this one was that it was going to be short.
Yeah.
And I think for once we've finally done that, Philippa, we might have a short.
I think we might have a sub 30-minute episode. Just.
Wow.
Just, I think. So yeah, and by the time this goes out, I will be on my holiday.
Yes.
Vacation, if you're in the States. I will be away with my family. Wish me luck. And
so excited for you.
Yeah.
And can we tell them about what's happening at the end of your
Yeah, of course
holiday?
We can. Yeah.
Philippa is rounding out her holiday by coming to my house.
Yay!
So we have never met in person. And we're thrilled that we get to.
We absolutely
so exciting.
Oh yeah, it's really exciting. So yeah, the end of my holiday.
We get to meet each other's families, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It is. So by the time we come back after our holidays, yeah, we'll have met, and no doubt we'll be recording an episode. I don't know, something along the lines of that and what that was like.
Yeah,
we'll let you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So I think that's it. And it's bye from me for now.
And bye from me.
Thanks for listening to HSP Connection. If you've enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes. Also, we'd really appreciate it if you could rate the podcast and share it with anyone you think might be interested. It helps others find us. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, you can also leave us a review.
To get in touch with us, you can email us at hspconnectionpodcast@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you with your thoughts and comments on the episodes and any suggestions you have for future topics and guests.
We are both HSP coaches and speakers. And to find out more about Robbie, go to Robbie Lee, that's leigh.com.
And to find out more about Philippa, go to safeandsupported.co.uk. See you next time.